Let us begin. You are lying in bed. It is 11:42 p.m. You have done everything right. You bought the expensive memory foam pillow that promised to align your spine. You are buried under a weighted blanket that mimics a maternal hug. You drank the chamomile tea that tastes like hot grass. You even put your phone in grayscale mode because a productivity influencer told you it would save your soul. You're physically exhausted. Your body feels heavy, sinking into the mattress, every muscle fiber begging for the sweet, restorative release of unconsciousness. The house is quiet. The notifications are silenced. You think you are about to rest. You think the day is finally over. Think again. While your conscious self is trying to clock out after a grueling shift of chasing the American dream, your brain is just clocking in. It is cracking its knuckles, putting on a pot of sludge-like industrial coffee and starting the graveyard shift. But it is not a peaceful night watchman patrolling the perimeter. No, your brain transforms into a biological horror factory. It turns into a sweaty, paranoid, overcaffeinated Hollywood director of a psychological thriller where you are the victim, the villain, and the audience all at once. It starts slowly, a spike in heart rate. Then the chemical floodgates open. Your brain, in its twisted wisdom, decides that now, in the safety of your bedroom, is the perfect time to flood your veins with corrosive cocktails of alertness. It begins electrocuting your neurons with high-definition replays of embarrassing memories from 2008. It starts editing private disaster movies about your bank account, your health insurance deductible, and your job security onto the back of your eyelids. It is gross. It is visceral. You can feel the cortisol coursing through you like battery acid. You're vibrating with energy you cannot use, trapped in a body that wants to sleep while your mind runs a marathon. But here's the secret. This nocturnal torture is not a defect. You are not broken. You're not undisciplined. You're not just bad at sleeping because you drank a latte at 2 p.m. What is happening inside your skull is actually an elite security system. Your body is doing these disgusting things because, on a deep evolutionary level, it believes it is saving your life. It thinks the silence of your bedroom is the silence before a predator strikes. It interprets unread emails as tigers in the tall grass. You are the productive American by day. You are the hustle culture warrior. You are the master of the pivot table. The person who answers emails at red lights, the one who wears stress like a badge of honor because exhaustion is a status symbol in the West. You are high functioning, but at night that functionality has nowhere to go. So your brain becomes a paranoid Secret Service agent protecting you from threats that do not exist. If you think you just have insomnia, you are looking at the symptom, not the disease. What you likely have is high functioning anxiety operating at maximum velocity. You are wearing a suit of armor so heavy during the day that when you finally take it off, your body does not know how to stop trembling. Welcome to the slimy underworld of your own mind. Today, we are going to perform a deep dive autopsy on your sleep schedule. We will dissect the 5 surprising signs that your insomnia is actually your brain trying to protect you. We are integrating real science from the National Institutes of Health and the American Psychological Association to explain why the pressure of the American dream has turned your bedroom into a bunker. Sign number 1, the midnight social autopsy, also known as cognitive rumination. The first sign is the most common and the most brutal. Picture this. You lie down, the room is dark, but as soon as the external noise stops, the internal noise begins. Your brain flips on the interrogation spotlights. It drags you into a cold mental courtroom. The judge is you, the jury is you, and the defendant is also you. It is time for the social autopsy. In the ruthless context of the United States, where your career survival depends on networking and soft skills, your brain has learned that social standing is equal to survival. In a culture of fake it until you make it, any crack in the mask is a mortal threat. So, your brain decides to review the tapes. This is cognitive rumination. Your brain rewinds to that 2 p.m. Zoom meeting. It analyzes it frame by frame. It enhances the audio. It applies filters to see micro-expressions. It zooms in on your face. This is not a casual memory. This is a forensic investigation. Your brain is looking for the exact millisecond where you might have lost status. It replays the moment you hesitated before answering a question. It amplifies the sound of your nervous laughter until it sounds like a scream in an echo chamber. It convinces you that everyone in the room saw through your facade and is currently plotting your professional demise. Wait, your brain whispers. Pause there. Look at your expression when the boss made that joke. You laughed, but was it a good laugh? Or did it sound desperate? Did the intern see you sweat? Oh God, they are probably talking about you on Slack right now. You're going to be quiet fired next week. You are going to lose your health insurance. You're going to die alone under a bridge. Biologically, what is happening here is repulsive. Rumination describes what cows do. They swallow food, regurgitate it, chew it again, and swallow it again. That is exactly what your brain is doing with your social interactions. It is vomiting up the undigested past to chew on it again. And the physiological cost is devastating. A study from the National Institutes of Health reveals the mechanics of this horror show. It shows that this is a toxic bidirectional feedback loop. Insomnia actively aggravates anxiety symptoms in 50 to 70% of Americans with mental health issues. Here's the chemistry. While you dissect that awkward handshake, your hypothalamus is screaming at your adrenal glands. It pumps cortisol into your bloodstream. Cortisol is the stress hormone. It is nature's caffeine. It raises your body temperature when it needs to drop. It increases your heart rate. You are marinating your internal organs in stressed juice all night long. The result? You wake up with a social hangover. You are exhausted and foggy. This destroys your emotional regulation for the next day, making you more likely to make awkward social mistakes, which provides fresh meat for the autopsy the following night. But wait. Before you try to lobotomize this part of your brain, look at it through the lens of high IQ. Why does your brain do this? Because it is trying to learn. This relentless analysis is often a side effect of high emotional intelligence. Your brain is a supercomputer running social simulations to ensure you do not get kicked out of the tribe. In the ancestral savanna, being socially inept meant being exiled. In the concrete jungle, it means losing your livelihood. Think of your brain not as a monster, but as a career coach who never clocks out. He is aggressive, he is a perfectionist, and he is definitely on steroids. He screams at you at 2 a.m. because he wants you to win the championship tomorrow. He just lacks the awareness to realize the game ended 8 hours ago. Sign number 2, the apocalypse simulator, or strategic hypervigilance. If the autopsy looks at the past, the second sign is obsessed with the future. You feel this in your body. You are lying still, but your muscles are vibrating. Your jaw is clenched tight enough to crush diamonds. Bruxism is skyrocketing in the U.S., literally paying for many dentists' vacation homes in Florida. Your shoulders are up by your ears, as if you are preparing to tackle someone. You're not resting, you are bracing. You are waiting for the other shoe to drop. A floorboard creaks. Intruder. A police siren wails. Civil unrest. A notification buzzes. Emergency. This is the apocalypse simulator, or strategic hypervigilance. Let us be real about the American dream. It comes with terrifying fine print. We live in a society with at-will employment, a volatile stock market, and a healthcare system where one bad diagnosis can bankrupt you. Your brain knows this. It reads the headlines. It checks Zillow even though you cannot afford to buy. It knows you're walking a tightrope without a net. So it enters disaster prep mode. It starts running the worst-case scenario playlist. What if inflation goes up? What if the housing market crashes? What if that twinge in my back is a kidney stone with a $6,000 deductible? What if AI takes my job? Do we have enough canned food? Why haven't I invested in gold? Research published in the MDPI describes this as hyperarousal. Neuroscientifically, your amygdala, the fear center, has hijacked your brain. It is screaming so loud that it has unplugged the prefrontal cortex, the logical part. Usually the prefrontal cortex says that noise was just the ice maker. But in hyperarousal, the amygdala screams, no, it is an intruder, it is the IRS. This affects about 30% of the US population. You are stuck in the sympathetic nervous system state of fight or flight. Your body is dumping glucose into your muscles to punch a predator, but you are lying in sheets. So that energy turns into internal toxicity and muscle armor. You are physically fighting a war that is only happening in your spreadsheets. However, from an evolutionary perspective, you are a tactical genius. In the 1970s, work stayed at work. Today, the threat is 24/7. Your brain has adapted to become a risk assessment supercomputer. Sources indicate that worst-case scenario planning is a sign of high resilience. Your brain is running game theory simulations. It is trying to formulate Plan B so that if the world ends, you survive. It is the night watchman who refuses to sleep because he cares too much about the safety of the fortress. It is annoying, but it is trying to keep you solvent. Sign number 3, revenge. Bedtime procrastination. It is 10:30 p.m. You finish the dishes. You answered the last email. The house is quiet. You are exhausted. Your eyes burn. You know you should sleep. You have to be up at 6 a.m., but you do not. Instead, a primitive force takes over. You grab your phone, you open TikTok or YouTube, you watch a man restore a rusty knife for 45 minutes, you scroll through memes, you stay awake until 2 a.m. doing nothing of value. Why do you do this? Are you stupid? No. This is revenge bedtime procrastination. It is your scream of freedom. For the average American, the day is sold to the corporation, the commute, and the family. The night is the only uncolonized territory. It is the only time nobody wants anything from you. No emails, no demands, just you and the screen. It is a specific kind of rebellion. You're not staying awake to do anything productive. You're staying awake to consume content that demands 0 brain cells. You are watching hydraulic presses crush fruits, or listening to 3-hour video essays about cartoons you have never seen. You are deliberately wasting time because it is the only time that truly belongs to you. You are trading biological health for psychological rebellion. A report from the American Psychological Association outlines the cost. Sleep deprivation selectively suppresses positive emotions like joy and gratitude. However, it keeps fear and irritation intact. Basically, you are paying to numb yourself. Furthermore, this contributes to the $63 billion annual productivity loss in the US. You render yourself a zombie, which makes you less efficient, which means you work harder, which means you need more revenge the next night. It is a cycle of self-destruction. But look at this with empathy. This is a solitude problem. If you're sensitive or introverted, the modern world is a sensory assault. Staying awake is a biological need for input deprivation. Your brain is starving for silence. This behavior validates that you are human, not a robot. It is your soul saying, I exist beyond my utility. I deserve time for myself. It is a clumsy attempt to reclaim humanity. You are leading a one-person revolution against capitalism, armed only with a smartphone. Sign number 4, the fake laziness, or motivational exhaustion. It is 3 a.m. You put the phone down. You need to do the sleep ritual. Brush teeth, wash face, get in bed. It takes 3 minutes, but you cannot move. You are sitting on the edge of the bed, one sock on, one off, staring at the wall. You are paralyzed. You feel like you weigh 4,000 pounds. You start beating yourself up. I'm so lazy. Why can I not just get up? Stop it. That is not laziness. That is the freeze response. This is a classic symptom of high-functioning anxiety known as executive dysfunction. You have spent so much executive fuel during the day, making decisions, faking calmness, managing crises, that your tank is dry. Psychiatrists explain this via polyvagal theory. Your nervous system is overloaded. You are in a state of exhausted alert. Your prefrontal cortex, the CEO of your brain, has gone on strike. You are experiencing the human blue screen of death. You are biologically locked. Believe it or not, this validates your high-performance nature. In the wild, when an animal cannot fight or run, it freezes. It plays dead to save energy. Your brain perceives the pressure of your life as an unbeatable predator. So, it decides to play dead. It freezes you to stop you from expending energy. It is a distress signal. Your brain is screaming, system overheated, forced, shutdown imminent. It is not a flaw. It is a sign that you gave 110% during the day. It is a protective mechanism. Your brain is acting like a strict parent pulling the plug on a console because it is overheating. Sign number 5, the open tabs processor, or creative hyperactivity. Finally, the most seductive sign. This hits the smart kids hardest. You turn off the light, you're ready to sleep, and then bam! It hits you like a lightning bolt, a surge of clarity. Suddenly, you're a genius. I should start a gluten-free bakery on Mars. I understand the metaphor in that movie. I have the perfect reply to that email from 3 years ago. I need to write it down. I need to learn Italian. Your mind feels like a browser with 700 tabs open, all loading 4K video. You feel like the Elon Musk of the mattress. You feel productive, but you're being robbed. Sleep architecture relies on brain waves slowing down. This hyperactivity keeps your brain locked in high beta. This is a disaster for REM sleep, where you process emotions. By using this time to innovate, you're stealing the time your brain needs to clean itself. The cost? The next morning, that idea will seem meaningless, or you won't have the energy to execute it. You are a visionary at 3 a.m., but a zombie at 9 a.m. It is empty calories creativity. You know the feeling. You wake up with a notepad full of scribbles that looked like Nobel Prize material at 4 a.m., but now look like the ramblings of a madman. You have burnt the fuel you needed for your actual job to power a fantasy life where you are a bakery-owning astronaut. But let us celebrate this. This is a trademark sign of giftedness. Why does this happen at night? Because during the day, your brilliant mind is suffocated by bureaucracy and boredom. At night, in the silence, your brain finally has the bandwidth to connect dots. Your brain is a Ferrari engine stuck in traffic during the day. At night, it sees an open track and wants to race. It is a superpower. It is just really inconvenient when you have a 9 a.m. meeting with HR. Conclusion. Negotiating peace with your internal protector. So, where does this leave us? If you have been nodding your head, here's the truth. Your insomnia is not a defect. It is the price of your functionality. Your brain is a loyal, obsessive, slightly deranged protector. It performs social autopsies to keep you employed. It runs apocalypse simulations to keep you solvent. It procrastinates to save your soul. It freezes to prevent burnout. It creates because it loves problems. It is working unpaid overtime because it loves you and is terrified of seeing you fail. But here's the twist. This protection is costing you your life. The same system that demands your hustle sells you the sleeping pills and energy drinks. You are burning the candle at both ends. So, how do we fix this? You cannot fight biology. You have to negotiate. First, validate the fear. When anxiety spikes, do not get angry. Talk to your brain like a scared child. Say, "Thank you, brain. I know you are trying to protect me, but the bedroom is safe. The bear is just an email. We can stand down." Acceptance disarms the alarm. Second, try the brain dump. Keep a notebook by your bed. Write the worries down. Tell your brain, it is saved on the hard drive. We do not need it in the RAM. Third, embrace microdoses of freedom. Stop revenge procrastination at the source. Steal back time during the day. Take a 15-minute walk. Lock yourself in the bathroom. Feed your hunger for solitude during the day so you do not starve for it at night. Fourth, embrace the dark. Make your bedroom a sanctuary. No screens. Total darkness. It is the only signal your brain trusts. You have a brilliant, complex mind. It is a fascinating biological horror show. But even the best security guards need a coffee break. Capitalism will be there tomorrow. The emails will be there. But you'll be better equipped to solve them if you sleep. Does this resonate? Which sign is your brain's favorite torture method? Are you team revenge or team autopsy? Share this with that friend who sends you memes at 3 a.m. They need to know they are not crazy. If you felt seen, hit that like button. Subscribe for more deep dives. Now put the phone down, close your eyes. You're safe. Go to sleep.